Can anybody hear me?
I can
Hey,
hear
what's
you.
up, Eric? How you doing? Okay, cool.
Oh, I'm
Yeah, I
doing
haven't
pretty good.
done.
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, man. Helping out a micro channel. um, yeah, I
Oh,
haven't
that's
done
cool.
a free cards. I haven't done a live stream in a while. So if there's any technical difficulties, folks, just bear with me. Um, so we have Video Lux here. He's a Manila-based YouTuber, and he does a lot of nightlife, cultural stuff, restaurants, and he runs the Video Lux channel. Check him out. And yeah, if you want to say anything, introduce yourself.
You're like, oh, it's like nightlife and culture, and I'm like, nah, it's babes and booze, bro. Come on. No, no, it's always a celebration of Manila. I'm not really a YouTuber. I just make a lot of videos that end up on YouTube. But yeah, it's all about the Philippines experience, and we have a good time. Uh,
Yeah,
Streamyard, check it out, man. Looks like a sharp interface.
yeah. There's some functionality that I'm not too familiar with, but a couple YouTubers I follow they use Streamyards, and it seems pretty simple. It's actually a browser-based live stream, so I'm actually not logged into YouTube. I'm going through Streamyard.com, and it uploads into your YouTube account. So pretty cool. You can invite people. I put the link in the chat if anybody wants to come on. I've invited a couple other YouTubers. They may or may not join. There might be. There's someone in the back. I don't know who this is. But we'll take a
The
chance.
back.
We'll add him to this.
Oh, here we go.
Who's this?
Yo, what's up, man? How you doing, brother? It's Sebastian, man. It's Sebastian, B.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Sebastian.
Hey, nice to see you.
Sebastian.
Sebastian's a
Yeah,
buddy
you
of
too,
mine.
man. How y'all doing?
He's in Mandawi at the moment, and
Yeah.
we got Video Lux up in Manila, and I'm in Sabu City. So we got a little group here. I've got some beers that I wanted to kind of taste and drink from Bisaya Brewery. Just basically lagers. There's a Mexican lager, Japanese rice lager, a German Pilsner, and a Belgian wheat. So the live stream's not totally about beer reviews. It's more just back and forth guys talking. But if there's ever a lull in the conversation, I'll drink a beer and give you guys a little 30 seconds of my opinion on the aroma, mouthfeel, taste,
Excuse me.
appearance, and yeah, we'll go from there. So, looks like we got GDME, a foreigner telling truth in the Philippines, in chat. How you doing, Mr. Mead? He's a Australian-based YouTuber. So, what are you up to tonight, Eric? You going out, hitting the clubs, or?
Well, I wasn't gonna go out, but she wants to go out because we went out last night and got super faded, and we called it an early night, so we didn't really get to play much pool. So tonight's just gonna be playing pool and stuff.
Are you
But
gonna
that
start at
that
Lib?
usually, yeah, we'll probably start at Lips, and the crazy thing is like we go out to play pool, and then the next thing you know, we're like leaving a club at 5 in the morning. So that's just usually how Manila goes. I got a guy that's in town from Angeles who's flying in a girl from Elo Elo, and it's her first time, so it's gonna be one of those nights.
Well, that
Speaking of,
must be a special girl if he's bypassing 3,000 Angeles girls to bring in an Elo girl. She must be
oh,
a 9 or a
dude,
10.
you know what? Even if she's not, just the provincia quality of a unspoiled Elo girl compared to like what you're gonna find in Angeles. They're all programmed, they're all corrupted, they're all, you know, in the pay to play mindset. But these girls out at Elo Elo, man, they're like, they come down from as far as Cartless, like they're sweet girls that really haven't been corrupted by the whole Manila Sabu IG scene yet. So yeah, like this is the kind of thing I was talking about on my last stream, where I'm basically like, you can still meet great girls in the Philippines, and Angeles is probably not the place you're going to meet them.
I wouldn't want to meet no girls in Angel City. Stick to the province.
Yeah, so that's why. Like Elo Elo is a great little city that I think they call it the city of love. And I was there. I mean, it was a long time ago now, but I met a wonderful young woman there, and I traveled with her for weeks. Backpacked Sabu and Carlos and Isla Gigantes and all kinds of stuff. She was great.
What do you think of Gigantes?
What did I think of Gigantes?
Yeah.
It was unbelievable, man. It was off the grid. Like you couldn't get cell service in half of the places. Like everything was very province. Like there's no like hotels or anything. It's all like little beach resorts, and there's no real restaurants or anything. It's all just like Pinoy level stuff. And not even like really any tricycles. Like you had to get a motorcycle to get around. And the 11 islands that make up the Gigantes chain, you basically the reason to go is to hop the islands, and because there's like the sandbars and all the good stuff. But you got to go in the dry season, because if you go in the rainy season, you run the risk of the seas being too high for them to take you out in the boat. But I thought it was beautiful. It was the most off the grid, like wild, untamed Philippines I've ever seen. Very peaceful, very out there, very secluded.
Yeah, man, I love the province. I've been based here in Cebu City, and the first year I was in the Philippines, I traveled quite a bit. I'd spend a month in Cebu, and then I'd go to like Palawan for a month, then a month in Cebu, then go to I did a big 6-week motorcycle trip across Negros, and then back to Cebu. Then I did like a 6-week Manila, Angeles, Baguio, Subic trip. And but for about the last 16, 17 months, I've pretty much been in Cebu City, just like a couple 5, 6, 7-day trips here and there. And yeah, I don't know. And I definitely want to do like a 6-week motorcycle trip across Leyte and Samar. I want to do a northern Mindanao trip. I want to do a southern Palawan trip, which is probably the last frontier of the Philippines, the true like tropical beaches where you go places ain't no white man ever been, So
it feels like that in Isla Gigantes too, but that is more touristy. No, I hear you, man. Like when I first came here, I did the same thing. Like you kind of gotta. Yeah, it's good. That's one of the things about the Philippines. There's 6,000 islands here, 7,600 islands, 7,614 islands in the Philippines. So you got options, man.
I know, Sebastian, you were when you've been out here for 7 or 8 years, and I believe you were based in Lake Sabu in Mindanao, kind of where basically the middle of Mindanao. What were your thoughts on Lake Sabu?
Well, it was nice, man. I liked it up there. Clear water to swim in. They had tilapia up there, and it was a pretty cool place, man. I liked it. Go up there. The water was nice and cold. Well, it was dangerous, but not as dangerous as everybody makes it out to be. It was all right to live there, but really, really province where I was at, dude. I was living up there. I was living in the mountains. Yeah, so it was peaceful, but not. You know what I mean? I liked it, but I like a little bit of city in both.
You had a sorry store, right?
Yeah, at one point in time. Yeah. That shit ended. When she broke up with me and her daddy tore down the store. He said he wasn't going to let her make money off of me, so he said I paid for it. And that was it. Yeah. So her daddy took his hammer and went to work. So yeah.
Damn.
I like it here, man. I love it here in the Philippines. I got a good woman now. Got a very good woman. I ain't out looking or searching for anything else. I finally found me that one diamond in the rough, so I'm good to go.
You went through about 30 before you found her.
Shit, man, I drew it out a couple of thousands before I found her. What the fuck you talking about? Yeah, probably a couple hundred, something like that. Not 1,000. Just joking about that. But a couple hundred.
I totally believe it.
Girl for a few years too, man. I know she's pretty special.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like again, like you were saying, like when you first come to the Philippines, you know, you meet that girl. He sounds like he's talking still. Actually, sound like he was muted or talking or something. But you first
Oh
come to
no,
the
I got some going in the background. Sorry about that. I'll turn it down.
you come to the Philippines, you meet that girl, and like you're gonna fall for her. At least I did, and I know a lot of guys that have too. And you know, I dated the first one for a year or two, off and on, back and forth, long distance, that kind of thing, and didn't work out. And then you know, in between like girlfriends, you end up dating a lot of girls. So like when he says like I went through 100 or more to find the one, like that, he's not exaggerating, and that's what I think guys don't really get about the Philippines. And you know, you don't want to front or anything, but it's like, man, I probably like, you know, smashed more Filipinas than I can even remember, you know. And it's like sometimes you know that's a, like a wow thing, and sometimes that's a oh my god, what have I done, you know, like it's like shameful at some level, but it is what it is. And then you
Yeah.
eventually the one girl, you know, and then like you know, so I've been with my girl for like it's been 5 years now, so we're good, we're solid.
What do you do when you run into a girl that you know you smashed, but you barely
Yeah.
remember her? It's been
Okay.
years.
Great question. Now that doesn't happen as much anymore because I haven't been out smashing like crazy in a couple of years. So surprisingly enough, they're cool. I've never run into an ex that I've had like a significant relationship with. So that might be a little different. But you know, I've run into I still bump into girls, and like usually it's like, oh hey, how you doing? Nice to see you. Hey, you out with your friends? Like, what are you doing tonight? Who are you with? Like, uh, can I get you a drink? You know, like usually something like that. And then they're usually really cool about it. Every now and then they'll ask, oh, who you with? And I'll be like, oh, I'm with my girl tonight. And they'll be like, oh, okay, bye. You know,
You
they
know,
don't like,
it's happened once, and what I did. So, you know, I'm 43 years old. So, you know, in the 90s, we had like VCRs, VHS tapes, and all that. We didn't just download stuff on, you know, Spotify and Netflix. And
it's all
you know,
analog.
I'm a teenager, and I got my hands on a porno tape, right? So I watched that thing 30 or 40 times. I had like all the lines memorized, and like, you know, it's like, you know, you got that one porno. I didn't have a whole collection. I had one tape. And this one guy in one of the scenes, like a girl comes up to him, and the girl's like, "Oh, don't you remember me?" And the guy kind of like tilts his head sideways and goes,
Right.
"Oh, I didn't recognize you standing up." So one time in my life, I actually got to use that line. It was in America, but yeah, I used it. Girl was like 10 years prior, and she's like, "Guys, Freelas, you don't remember me?" Oh, and I was like, "Oh,
No.
I didn't recognize you standing up." And she laughed it off. It was no big deal, but
I
I'm
was
like,
gonna say that might
waiting for
not
the
go
second to use that.
nowadays. Ugh.
Yeah.
I had that problem a couple of years ago. My birthday, my ex, and some other guy she was fucking, I guess at the time, showed up to my birthday party when I was living in Wild Wow. Come there with my girlfriend, my ex was there, her little boyfriend. It was just funny. It was just I found it absolutely hilarious that she showed up. There were no problems, but it was just funny. She didn't talk. She didn't say shit. So I never had any issues with any exes. You know, just like you know. Most of them are
Before
cool,
this,
but then you got some that are so jealous that's just unreal.
before this gets a little too triple X rated, let's try to keep it R rated. I'm gonna do my first beer review. This is Bisaya Brew, based here in Sabu, Philippines. It's owned by the Hillier family. How do you pronounce it? M. Lulier. They're a pawn shop, billionaire family, like the 10th richest family in the Philippines. One of their sons is running the Bisaya Brew Company. This is their Mexican lager. And so I'll just do a quick little pour on it, do a quick beer review. I do have some beer judging training. I'm actually a certified beer judge with the BJCP. It's a beer judge certification program. So I'll just give you guys kind of like the quick rundown. I'm not doing like a full score sheet, uploading it or anything, but It's pretty cold, as you could see. It had a little bit of ice on the thing. I put it in the freezer for a bit. So we start right away. It had a proper snap when I popped the cap. There's no rust on the cap, no breaks or cracks in the bottles. Modern 12-ounce glass bottle poured into just a standard, I guess you could kind of call this like just a semi-brandy snifter. Not too much head, light straw, golden color, medium-sized bubbles, very large-sized bubbles, pretty much standard for a Mexican lager. Neutral smell, not a lot going on, which is standard for the style. You shouldn't have anything standing out. A Mexican lager is like a drinkable, I call them like a brain dead beer. It's something you should be able to drink 5, 6, 7 of and not really worry about, not analyze too much. Pretty clean. I haven't had a Modelo or a Dos Equis, or I've had Coronas, but I haven't had some of the other Mexican lagers in a few years since I left California. But this is an enjoyable beer. There's a little bit of corn sugar presence. But yeah, no head. I'd rate this for, standard Mexican lager. It's pretty good. It's not great. Nothing really stands out. Overall, I give it, 4 out of 5. So this is a brewery based in Mandawi. It's there's actually a French guy running it. His name's Benoit, French Canadian guy, not Benoit. He'll correct you very quick. His name's Benoit, and he's the brewer. I met him at a beer fest that I helped organize back in May, and their Italian Pilsner won Best Light of the category, and I was one of the judges for that event. They had a mango puree. They had 5 or 6 beers. Really nice professional operation. So yeah, overall enjoyable beer. And not a whole lot to say, but yeah. What I know you're a craft beer guy, Video Lux, but you hit up a Perfect Pint and
so
Dr. Wine, and where else? There's Tap Station.
Yeah, I mean the Philippines craft beers though, like touch on 1 or 2 things you said. So you mentioned the Mexican beer. So like I was a big fan of Dos Equis amber beer, and I was never a fan of Corona because I hear and read that they're making their product with GMO products. So they GMO hops or barley or whatever it is. And I was wondering if here in the Philippines, like the beer that I really like is the Crazy Carabao IPA. It's like a Philippines-based brewery, and I think they're locally sourced. So that leads me to believe that they're not using any GMO products in their beer. But like hops and what's the other one I said? Hops, barley, or shit, there's something else.
Barley watering the 4 ingredients.
You're thinking that you got to be thinking that they're importing some of that, right? They got to be
the hops for sure are imported. 100% that's imported.
So
no hops are
right. So you got to think like, where are they getting it from? Is it GMO? Like, obviously they can't locally source their hops. So, but have you been to the Perfect Pint?
They're Greenbelt based branch. Yeah, it's run. It's a good spot. They got a lot of different beers on tap. Yeah. Good happy hour. A great location. A good pizza. It's a good spot. Yeah.
They got like 4 stouts on the menu, like 4 IPAs, a couple double IPAs. I can't get that stuff, man. Like that, all their beers are like 6, 7, 8% alcohol. Like I walk out of there feeling nice and warm and fuzzy, and it's like a different kind of buzz than you get from drinking like vodka and stuff,
Yeah. It's good stuff. It's run by a guy. His name's Jim Araneta. He's one of the fathers of the Philippine craft beer scene. He used to run the Global Beer Exchange. It was one of the first major importers of microbrews into the Philippines. They didn't really import any of like the Euro macro lagers like Beck's or Heineken, but they imported California microbreweries. They did Rogue in Oregon, Ballast Point, Stone, some of the major microbreweries on the West Coast. He would import into the Philippines. little side note. So oh, hey there, what's up?
Oh, bro.
My girl's got a new toy doing her hair. She's got a curling iron now. So.
Ah,
Oh, hey, Hazel.
It looks
And
like she's done getting ready.
I'm ready. Yes.
yeah, you got some Pippi Longstocking thing going on right there.
What's that?
She's got the Pippi Longstocking going on.
Yes, the nice thing is when she takes them out, her hair gets all like crazy frizzy.
Yeah.
I love
Really?
Yeah.
You get curls like in whole day. It won't like it's straightened back.
Yeah, it's like a very. It's a very.
Wow,
it's a great
drinking
look.
Red Horse? Is that Red
No,
Horse?
that's the craft Mexican beer
Oh, I see.
from the Bisaya Brewery.
Oh,
Bisaya Brew
brewery.
Mexican lager. So back to that little story about Jim Ariñeta and Global Beer Exchange. So I was out here in the Philippines for 11 months in 2012. And, you know, like I had the 2 years previous in America, I had like worked my way up at a brewery starting from assistant. I would say assistant brewer, but more I was like cleaning. Then I did some sales and I actually was a security guard there. Worked my way up to bartender, all the way up to essentially general manager. I would even call myself like running the place because the owner's mom died and he was just messed up and he really wasn't showing up. And so I kind of ran Angel City Brewery back 2009 to 2011. And finally it got sold and we all got laid off. I got a very small severance package. And, you know, I headed out to the Philippines January 1st, 2012. I spent 11 and a half months out here. And I talked to a couple guys about starting a brewery. And we had a guy who was, you know, a Filipino partner. We had someone who had some money and I was going to be the brewer. But truthfully, I really wasn't confident in my brewing ability. And so I kind of passed it up and went back to America, worked, and I did well there. But like the first few months I was back in America, you know, of course you want to go back to the Philippines after spending almost a year in the Philippines. And now I'm back in the rat race in California. And so I emailed back and forth with Jim Ariñeta from Global Beer Exchange, now the owner of Perfect Pint. And I was actually going to be a sales rep distributor for him. And we kind of went back and forth, a dozen or so emails, lots of phone calls. And it was going to be more of a commission-based thing. And, you know, the marijuana industry in California was just starting to take off. I knew it was going to go legal. And so I stuck with it in California. And, you know, financially it worked out for me. But, yeah, technically I could have been working at Perfect Pint and, you know, managing it, or who knows, in a alternate universe.
I think it's the best brewery in the city right now. I mean, I'm not knocking Encanto, and I'm not knocking the new one up in Quezon City. I forget the name of it. They have a fantastic
Treeline in San Juan is my favorite.
And God, there's another one too. There's another little one in Makati. It's really good. I forget what it's called.
Nipa Hut?
Nipa. Yes, the Nipa Hut Brewery. One of our first dates was there, and we got smashed.
Good. It was good.
Smashed. And you know what? I've been thinking about doing. You know, I do the nightlife tours and stuff, so I've been thinking about doing a full brewery tour, like adding that as a package.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys are what's his name? Luke, who runs Jamboree, which is one of the big beer meetup groups in the Manila area. They're kind of more based in Quezon City, but they're going to start an ale trail, and it's going to be one of those things where you start with a card. You got to go to these like 6, 7, 8 breweries. You get a stamp at each card, at each brewery, and then at the last brewery, you turn in your card, and they give you a T-shirt that says "I beat the Manila Ale Trail." And I know Luke. I'm in the kind of in the brewing scene here, so I've talked to him about it, and we're going to work with him to get him DOT, Department of Tourism certification as an event organizer. So there's just no like issues with something, you know, the people are coming and asking them for money.
Absolutely
But
right. That's
There's
why
like 70 or so breweries across the Philippines, and about 30 of them are pretty small. But out of the 70, I would say 40 of them are in the greater Manila area. So to get 6 to 8 of the bigger ones on the Ale Trail, it might, I'd say next year that's going to happen. And there'll be more like essentially a K-Zone city based Ale Trail with 6 to 8 breweries. You go stamp your card at each one, get the T-shirt at the end, and it's something for tourists to do. You're in Manila for a week, like. I'm sure, Eric, you'll probably take some of your subscribers on that Ale Trail. You'll probably complete that trail 10 times.
I won't be surprised. No, it's a great idea. Like, that's the other thing. Like, like I say, like on the channel, we talk about running tours and stuff, but technically I don't do anything. She does everything. She has the business. She manages everything. So I just kind of show up and get the party going, I just sort of market like for fun, but she's watching the most insane video I've ever seen on her phone right now.
And just let me interject here. In the comment section, this is not a troll channel. We're not going to have troll comments. Anybody leaving negative comments about Barry, that's going to be deleted. So I'm not going to have guys talking trash to Barry. So this is Sebastian.
I don't care. It don't bother me, bro. Some talk shit don't bother me. Look, if they're talking about me, they're giving somebody else a break. I don't care what they say. I know what's true, and I don't care. I really don't, man. That just don't. It doesn't bother me what people say, man. If I let everything people say bother me, dude, I'd be a rich motherfucker right now, cuz they're all ignorant. Ignorance is bliss with most of these people, so I really don't care. It's all right, man. Don't worry. That's why I am where I am right now, because I just don't care. So, all good.
Where are you right now?
Manila Ale Center Detention Center, waiting to be deported. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if you know that video, Lux, but Sebastian is
I've seen his YouTube channel. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, he's in detention center here in next to Mandawi and Sabu. Yeah. You want to give him like your 1 minute synopsis of what's going on, Sebastian, just so everybody knows, because I don't think he's familiar with your situation.
Yeah, no problem. I overstayed 6.5 years. My fault, my bad. Everybody was like, you overstayed. Wasn't going to admit that on YouTube. You know what I mean? Of course.
For sure.
Ain't no way in hell I'm going to admit that on social media. It's just not going to happen. Well, this other ignorant American, I hate to talk about our countrymen like that, but this motherfucker's, excuse my language there, darling, but, this guy's an idiot, and he got mad because he was being inappropriate with children, and I called him out on it, and so he put a case on me, and I've been sitting here for 1.5 years waiting to be deported to go home after I got my deportation order already. I've been sitting here waiting. I'm 50 years old. I just don't play games, and I want to go fucking home be with my family, but this guy keeps holding shit up. I'm not going to say his name because it's not worth mentioning. I mean, he's just a evil person. So, yeah.
I'm shocked that it's taking that long. Like, I'm surprised they don't just like ship you out.
Well, it's a court case. He put a case on me. He's using the Philippine justice system to hold me here.
I see. Ugh. Sorry to hear.
Essentially, foreigners calling each other names on YouTube. One of the foreigners was in Hawaii at the time, and then he comes out here, weaponizes anti-free speech laws to lock him up, and he's been in jail for 16 months now, waiting deportation. So it's a sad situation, but the karma train will hit him eventually.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
we've been talking about that whole like gotta watch what you say on YouTube nowadays. Like, and I mean, it's not like I'm not highly politicized. I obviously have my opinions. I know what's going on, and you talk about things as to some degree, but like it's really getting out of control now. Like it's even just like, yeah. I think the trick for guys like us, at least Philippines-based guys, like obviously we don't talk about Philippines politics, Philippines news, Philippines anything.
Oh hell no!
Not our business. We don't live. We're visitors in this country, right? So We don't weigh in on the politics. That's part of the visa agreement. And I don't weigh in on American politics just because the last time I did, my channel got like, a strike and I got dropped.
Yep. I lost my channel because of being political in 2020. Yep. I had to start all over again. Yep.
Well, Barry, what you said, like, I don't think you realized what you said when you said it, because I know one thing you said was you were talking about nuking Mecca, right? And like, you could say, well, that was an ignorant comment and all this, but like when you said it, like there's actually theological underpinnings to that, where like in the Quran and the Islamic faith, they've always said if someone can take out Mecca and like there's a greater force that's stronger than Islam that comes into Mecca and overtakes it, you would almost get like Muslims would be commanded to convert to that greater, stronger religion. So when you said nuke Mecca, like I don't think you realize like you actually had like there was like theological doctrine behind that. So and just for the record, I'm not for nuking Mecca. Just clear that up,
Okay. All right. I don't remember what you're talking about, but alrighty then.
I gotta get rolling, man. I gotta get ready to go. And I just noticed the comments in the what is this? The Streamyard interface. She showed me their comments. So foreigner telling truth in the Philippines made a comment or two. Just acknowledge, say hi. Thanks for joining the stream here. I'd like to stay tuned for the rest of the beers, but I guess I'll be able to watch this later, right? This will Yeah,
it's going to be up on YouTube and everything. So where you're going to Lips first?
Yeah, we're going to Lips.
Probably Lips or H&J. It depends.
Lips or H&J. Depends on what the pool tables look like.
And work your way.
Yeah. And then I got to meet a guy probably who'll come out later. But the weird thing is like, I had to comment on one of my videos the other day. The guy's like, we were always hanging out with hookers and bar girls and Makati and shit. I'm like, well, I might be in a go-go bar, but what makes you think I'm hanging out with hookers, bro? It's like, he's like, well, it's obvious by the way they dress and what you're doing. And I'm like, I'm playing pool in a bar listening to rock music. It's like, and drinking. Like, what's the problem here?
Narcissistic attitude.
So, and I had another guy who was like, he's like, if you're against prostitutes, why are you hanging out in a bar girl bar? I'm like, dude, just because there's bar girls in the bar doesn't mean like you can't hang there. There's no cover charge, there's no table fee, there's no consumable fee. You got comfortable couches, you can get pretty cheap booze there. There's a nice pool table, and they play freaking rock music. So like, why wouldn't I hang out there? And there's eye candy. On that note.
I wish they had a bar that played country music here. It'd be so good.
All right. Oh, wait. I think it's time for my massage. Then I'm going to grab a shower.
It's called prostitutes because the spectrum of semi-pros is so great. So it's the good girls and the prostitutes. Well, the 98% in between are all semi-pros. So
freelancer. Now, that's a great way to put it. So I have two terms I use for that. You have your freelancers, right? And they do their freelance game, whether it's in the club or online or in a Telegram chat or whatever. But then you have that other percent you were talking about. I call them opportunistic freelancers. And these are the girls that you'll meet in a bar that aren't necessarily out freelancing, but if they see a guy they like, they're going to try to flirt with them, try to hook with them and say, hey, look, I want to go with you, but I'm not for free. Opportunistic freelancer.
Yeah, of course.
All right, let me end on that wonderful, inspiring note. You get into the next beer, and I'll catch this on the replay. Thanks for having me on, Brew.
All right. You guys have a good night. Hey, thanks for coming on my live stream. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Let's do
fun,
it,
man.
Have a great night, guys.
Have a blessed night, man. Take care. And Pink.
Yeah, if anybody else wants to come on the live stream, let me.
It froze up for a second there, but I'll catch you guys later.
All right, see you, brother.
Take care of yourself.
On the live stream, come on up. The link's at the top of the chat, and just no trolls allowed. We don't like trolls, so This is just kind of an open chat live stream, but it's loosely based around beer reviews. So I'm on my second beer of the night. This is Bisaya Brew Japanese rice lager. I'll also give it the quick BJCP beer review. So 12-ounce bottle, no rust on the cap, slight pop when it opened. Once again, I'm serving these ice cold. I put these in the freezer for just a bit. Of course, some for my girl here. There was a light bubble, light head in the beginning, but it dissipated fairly quickly. Probably at a slightly higher temperature, they might get a little bit more foamy head, but appears slightly turbid, slightly hazy. I would call this pale gold color, almost to a copper. And as for a rice lager, once again, a fairly neutral aroma. There shouldn't be a lot going on. You shouldn't have anything specifically standing out in the aroma. Appearance, fine. Let me give it a quick taste. It's hard to distinguish between specific grains, whether it's rye, barley, rice. So to me, this is, once again, it's a neutral, easy drinking beer. You could have 5 or 6 of these. If you're a San Miguel Pilsen, San Miguel Light kind of guy, this won't disturb you too much. It's going to be right in the ballpark. And I'd probably give it a 4 out of 5. So let's see what's going on in the chat.
I'll pick on my bourbon, thank you.
Yeah. Barry, you're more of a Jack and Coke kind of guy, right?
Jack and Coke, Jim Beam Coke, any bourbon. Buffalo Trace, Elijah Craig, Bullet Bourbon, Knob Creek, yeah, Willits. Good bourbon, man.
So for an Alabama boy, did you ever get in the backwoods and help a cousin or uncle with a still, a little moonshine?
I cannot confirm or deny that, sir. Yeah, I did from time to time. Back when I was a young man, yes, sir, sure did. I never learned the trade, never learned how to make it, but I drank some moonshine in my time.
What'd you think of
Yes,
it?
sir. Woo! You ain't careful to knock your dick in the dirt, boy, let me tell you what. You gotta be careful, that moonshine will get you. Sure will.
I've just added GDME to the stage. He's based in Casino, Australia. He's a longtime vlogger. He really puts it to the trolls. They're scared to death of him. They're scared of GDME. Welcome to the panel, GDME. Cheers, brother.
Hey, thanks, El. I'm really finding this, this is really interesting that you're doing this. Yeah, there's so many people that go to the Philippines, but really, when they get there, they have got no clue what's going on. So to be able to show them, hey, look, this is the beer to drink. I mean, as a bloke, as a guy, that's bloody brilliant. What a cool theme for a live stream. Well done, son.
Yeah, I've been thinking about this for a while. I mean, I've out of the 70 breweries in the Philippines, I've probably been to 20. I've judged at 2 beer fests. I've been to a few beer fests here in Sabu and Manila. I helped organize them. And I do have brewing experience. I have judging experience. I live across the street from a brewery here in the Philippines in Sabu. And, I just, there's nothing against San Miguel, but I do appreciate a good craft brew, specifically West Coast IPAs, porters. I like kind of, that bourbon barrel aged Russian Imperial Stout, although in the hot tropical weather of the Philippines, it's not really appropriate. But, it's a nascent beer scene here. I mean, in California, we've got 40 million people and we have 800 breweries. The Philippines has 120 million people, but only 70 breweries. So per capita, there's 30, 40 times more breweries in California than there are Philippines. But the breweries here are okay. I've been to a couple bad ones. I'm not going to name names, but I mean, the beer scene here is pretty cool. Guys, like we do the VCBA, the Bisaya Craft Brew Association, which I'm a part of. We do like monthly tastings, public tastings, and then we probably do like monthly private tastings at someone's house where everybody, you know, kind of like a potluck and people bring beers. We've organized a couple beer fests. There's obviously more stuff going on in Manila than there is Sabu, just because the way it is. But for the most part, yeah, it's pretty cool. I've met some cool people through the VCBA and Beer Fest, and it's, you know, it's something to do here. Like, I'm not working, I'm not going to school, like, so, you know, other than I got to do something with my time, and, you know, I can only exercise an hour or two a day, so I can't, you know, sleep 8 hours a day and spend quality time with my girl about an hour a day. And other than that, you know, I got to fill the rest of my day, so I got to have some sort of hobby.
Look, I know
I
exactly
sleep
what
all
you're
day every day.
Yeah, retirement was great for the first month, Sal. It was great for the first month, but after that, I realised I'm bored, and if I don't do anything, get off my butt, I'm just sitting here waiting to die. So when casinos started filling up with the Filipino contingent from overseas, like today, I've been out with a number of our guys. Ali and I are helping in a lot of different ways with you know, bringing them into the community and getting them set up and transitioning from the PI to here. And we're having a ball, you know, mentoring them as Kuya and Ate. You know, being 66 years old, you know, we're sort of like the seniors, you know what I mean? And the guys have turned out to be really great. Last night we had 30 of them at the house. We had a birthday party for one of the boys, and I can tell you here now, which is one of the reasons I wanted to chat to you about this live stream. I can tell you here and now, Sal, do not be stupid like I was last night and mix red wine with beer. I can tell you now, everybody out there watching, it's not a smart thing to do. I woke up this morning and I wanted to die. So
I hear
watching
you.
live stream tonight was, for me, it was hilarious, and I just cracked up. I had to come and say that, you know.
Yeah, let me just go through the chat really quick. Guys, be respectful. This is not meant to be a troll channel. I know there's people that are in the troll community that are here, but please be respectful. I practice free speech, but I will time people out if I have to. I'm not a live streamer. I'm not one of those guys who can talk for hours and hours, and you know, I'm probably not that good of a live streamer. I don't think I'm that interesting of a person, but you know, for the most part, this is just meant to be.
No, you're doing bloody well, mate.
We're just having fun. So guys, just I'm not going to delete these comments, but for the most part, I want everybody in the chat to be respectful. So you know, there's a time and a place to troll. I get it. Believe me, I get it. I troll myself, but let's take it easy. This is not the time or place. Like, we're just kind of talking about beer. We're talking about the Philippines. We're not. This is not a troll time. You guys could go to other channels tomorrow. I know a lot of you guys are on YouTube 8 to 10 hours a day, and there's plenty of time to troll. This is not it. So just please be respectful.
Well, the other thing too is, you know, that having anything to do with me is going to cop you some shit. You know that. You know,
No, I think it's me. It's me. It's all me, but believe me, all me. It has to do with me being on here.
Yeah, I unfortunately attract some pretty low life scum because they hate the fact that myself and my Sawa raise money for underprivileged people in the Philippines and wholeheartedly spend every penny we make to make other people's lives in the Philippines better. And because they're low life scum leeching off the Filipinos, taking, you know, videos of the poor to make money on AdSense on YouTube, they hate my guts, you know. But there you go, you know. I can tell you here and now, I have a great deal of respect for. Now, you guys know this bloke as Brevis. I know him as Sal Hernandez, and I got grievously, seriously, life-threateningly ill in Sabu in May last year. And Sal turned up to my my hospital room when I was at such a low. I honestly thought I was dying. It was really serious because I got a very bad lung disease to start with. So when I caught viral pneumonia and ended up in Chongwa Hospital in Sabu, I couldn't contact Australia. There was no Wi-Fi. There was no telephone communication. I had nobody. Sal turned up in my hospital room when I was at such a low in my feelings, and he said, "Jeff, what can I do for you? How can I help you?" And it was like I was being thrown a lifeline, and to, like, he was genuine with it. Hazel was there, and she was like 7-8 months pregnant, and they genuinely came to offer me help, and I will never forget them for that. So that's my personal opinion. That's how I know this guy. And then, later earlier, actually, before I actually got the pneumonia, we had met and had a couple of drinks together in a nice hotel in Osmania Circle. But, he brought me back from a really, really nasty place in my head. I thought I was going to die. And the only person that gave me any kind of hope and thing was this young fella sitting in front of you. So I won't hear any crap against him either. I mean, he really inspired me and looked after me. And anybody who wants to put shit on him, they better realize that they're gonna have to put shit on me first, and that's not a smart thing to do.
Yeah, you're messing with a pit bull. You mess with Mr. Mead there, but you know what? It's nothing to me. Like, there but the grace of God go I. And I've supported you, Mr. Mead. Barry, in your situation, I've come and visit you several times, and like, everybody's sometimes in a dark, deep place, and a little friend, just a little something. Like, I helped Barry a little bit. I brought him a little thing. I did just a little bit for Mr. Mead, but when he's in a bad spot, like, when you do just a little bit, it helps out. I mean, it's the difference between everything. So, yeah.
No, you're a great mate, and I'll never forget it. And that I appreciate it. And like, what can I say? Without getting soppy, he's a great guy, and I really appreciated it. And he looked after me at a time when I needed looking after, and I appreciate it. It's as simple as that. But anyway, moving on. So out of the two beers, what kind of
beer do you like, GD Mead? What do you like to drink?
You probably never heard of it, but down here we have a major brewery called Tooheys, spelled Tooheys. It's a very large brewery in Australia, and I like the Tooheys New, NEW. It's a very light lager.
Did it recently go bankrupt or get sold, or what happened with that? Something happened recently.
No idea. I don't really follow. I haven't heard anything, put it that way. It's still on sale in the pub. You can still buy it in the bottle shop. So I don't think they're going to go bankrupt. It's a massive company here in Australia. And as you know, there is an Australian guy on the planet that doesn't drink as much beer as he can every day. I can't see them going broke. They're huge. They're absolutely huge. So, if there's news like that, well, I'm shocked, to be quite honest, because I haven't heard that. But, I drink Tooheys New. Last night we bought the boys bought a couple of cartons called Great Northern, which is a light lager. They're very nice drop. You can get it in full strength and non-alcoholic. And it's a big thing happening now, Sal. What's happening? A lot of companies, Heineken started Heineken 00, zero alcohol. And I thought, well, I'll try some of this. And mate, fair dinkum, you can't tell the difference. You can drink this shit all night long, and there's no alcohol in it. It tastes like Heineken. It smells like Heineken. It makes you pee like Heineken makes you pee. But it doesn't get you pissed. And you can drink it all night long. I am dying to sit down and knock back, 12 of them, because it's so easy to drink. And a Heineken bottle is only, 330 mil? They're only tiny. You knock back 12 of the damn things and not get pissed. So you drive down, and we have a police thing here called random breath testing, where they can pull you over on the side of the road and make you blow into the bag. It's totally legal here. We all accept it. It's not police powers or anything. We're quite happy with it. Keep the drunks off the road. But I would love to go past an RBT, a random breath testing spot, and get pulled over, and he goes, "Have you had anything to drink tonight, sir?" "Yeah, I've had 12 Heinekens, mate." you know.
So,
He'll say, "What's your name?" And I'll say Ted, and he'll say, "Ted who?" And I'll say, "Rude Ted."
Barry, there's been a question directed to you. They're asking about Red Horse. So if you see the question there, you want to comment on that?
I don't drink red. I don't drink Red Horse. I don't drink beer. I'm a
Yeah.
bourbon guy. I don't like beer.
Yeah, that was probably one of the guards. Someone. There are guards living there, so yeah, that's against the.
That's against the rules. I don't get to drink here. They don't allow me to drink here. I wish, but they don't allow me to drink here.
The penny drops. I now know who it. I'm sorry, the penny drops. I understand now. Yeah.
So I just opened my third Bisaya brew of the night. This is their German Pilsner, and let's just once again 12-ounce bottle. No rust on the can.
Mexican? Didn't you say
Say
it was
what?
Mexican? Mexican.
The first one was a Mexican lager. The second one was a Japanese rice lager. This is a German Pilsner. They're all from Bisaya Brew. It's a Sabu-based brewery, and let's give it a shot.
Yeah, well, I'm surprised they don't have a Spanish one because, I mean, like, you know, there's not a Filipino on the planet that doesn't like to say, I've got Spanish blood. Do you think they'd do a Spanish one?
It's
Oh, that's
the one there is actually a Spanish family. I believe technically a Basque family. But let me do a quick 30-second beer review on this. So this is a German Pilsner. It's nearly clear, a light pale gold color, dissipating head, medium-sized bubbles. Everything's appropriate for the style. Little bit of breadiness, some nuttiness to it. Slightly stronger than most German Pilsners. German Pilsners would be like a Beck's, is the best-selling brand there is. So this is definitely has a little more flavor in the aroma. Let me give it a taste test. Oh, that's good. That's really good. There's a touch of diacetyl, which is like a buttered popcorn flavor. In excess, it's a fault. But if there's just a little bit of diacetyl in certain styles and in a certain parameter, it could actually add to the beer. So I'm pretty impressed with this. Very drinkable. Definitely the best of the night so far. And I would probably give this 5 out of 5. I really like this. This is the Bisaya Brew German Pilsner. And excellent beer. I've been to the brewery. I know the brewer. I know the owner. And excellent beer. Their Italian Pilsner was better. I'm not going to be drinking an Italian Pilsner tonight. Their Italian Pilsner won Best Light Beer at the Visayan Craft Brew Association first annual beer fest back in May. And I was one of the 3 judges for that event. And I actually had that for my best of show, but it didn't win best of show, but it won best light beer. So really like this beer. Great, excellent beer. Hey, we got regular guy in the chat. If you want to come on, let me see if I can put the link in the. I'm a little new here on StreamYards. I'm not too great.
Just highlight it, blue, copy it, and then paste it into the chat. Highlight it blue where it's in the StreamYard thing here, where it says streamyard.com, blah, blah, blah. Just highlight it, hit copy.
Did it show up there? Did this show up? I think I put it in there.
Yep, there it is. That's
okay.
it.
Yeah, anybody wants to come in the chat, they're welcome. No trolls allowed. I've met regular guy twice at Iola Mall a few months ago. He's a really cool dude. I know trolls don't like him, but you know, when you're a tall, young, good-looking white guy in the Philippines having fun with Filipinas, there's a lot of guys that don't like you. I learned that, and I've never felt people were jealous of me before. I was a regular guy, normal guy. And I thought I was a normal guy and then nothing special. But now that I'm here, like people trolling me, and it's look, dude. Eventually, you guys in the chat or you trolls, maybe not you specific guys in the chat, but you guys can get out here, save up your money, keep working. Maybe 3 or 4 years, you'll have enough coins in your bank account, and you can come out here and I'll buy you a beer. I'll tell you that much. So
You and me,
But
35
anybody
years
wants
ago.
to come
but
on
we
out
didn't-
here.
Yeah, you and me 35 years ago, but we didn't have the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we'd have had the internet when I first, hooked up with my Asala, but see, we're a little bit different. And I'm not saying this is a good thing or a bad thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not, trying to generalize or whatever, but there's 3 years age difference between myself and my Asala. We met in 1988 in Sydney, Australia, and we got married in 1989. And I've been going to the Philippines every year since then. I'll be honest with you, I love the Philippines. I love the grassroots level. Unlike yourself, Sal, I'm not a condo man. I prefer living in the barrio. I don't mind the all night cock crowing and the karaoke does piss me off, and the motorbikes and the loud noise, but you get used to it. It's all part of the experience. Now, we own, as you know, we've got some properties there, and I'm still trying to find someone to take the rice land. I thought Wayne was going to take it, but no. That we have a DENR report that rice land is capable of a yield of 8.5 million pesos per year, and nobody wants to take it on. And all I want in return is 10%. Whatever, and it doesn't matter if it makes what DENR says it does. If somebody wants to take over our rice land in Ubay Bahol, which is the top performing area in the Philippines for rice, whatever you make out of it per year, if you give me 10%, I'm happy. But anyway, sorry to take away. Yeah. Now, is this still the German one? You're finishing off the German one?
Yeah, this is the German Pilsner from Bisaya Brew. This is an excellent beer. Really impressed with this. Early on, you asked me how much these are. In the thumbnail of this video, you can see they're 150 pesos per beer, but Food Panda was running some killer promos this weekend. They run a lot of promos. Just Food Panda and Grab are the two major food services in the Philippines. Grab has a larger market share, so they're both fairly well capitalized with big investment banks backing them. And what I've learned in kind of the on-demand economy is there's always a market leader, which is Grab at the moment. But some of the smaller guys, Food Panda, they're trying to grab market share. And one way to grab market share is through discounts and promos. So Food Panda versus Grab, like you could order a pizza from Pizza Hut on Food Panda versus Grab. You're going to save 100 pesos on Food Panda. So I'm a Food Panda Panda Pro user. And instead of 150 pesos a beer, they did a 20% off discount, which dropped it to 120 pesos per beer. And then if you spent more than 1,000 pesos, they gave you a 50% cash back. So I got 10 beers, 1,200 pesos, and I got a 600 pesos cash back. Net cost to me was 660 pesos per beer. So it's essentially
that's a good deal.
A San Miguel's 50 to 60 at the Sorry store, maybe 45 in somewhere, but call it 50. So this is a craft brew, and this German Pilsner is a step above for sure. Absolutely a step above. And for 60 pesos, if I can order more tomorrow, I'll order another. Oh, hey, cheers, Mr. Mead. Cheers, brother. Cheers.
Well, to be honest, I love my TMI 65, and I will admit I'm a bit of a traditionalist, and I haven't been very adventurous with my beers. I am a San Miguel man. I hate Red Horse. It gets me drunk very quickly, and it makes me pee like you got no. I don't know what it is. I drink one bottle of Red Horse, and I'm peeing, or it just makes me pee. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be crass, but it makes me pee.
That's why I drink bourbon.
Yeah,
don't worry about all that. But anyway, excuse me for a minute. Hey, man, look here, bro. I'm about to crash. My head's nodding here, and I gotta call my beautiful woman. So I appreciate you, B. Take care. Me, nice meeting y'all. I'm out, bro. I gotta get some rest, man. I'll talk to you guys, brother. Thank you for having me on. Bye, bye, guys.
Yeah.
I'll see you later,
Good night,
brother.
guys.
Have a good night. Good night.
All right. No worries. Yeah, you too.
So Not the Fed asked it, low carbonation. Yeah, all three of these beers have been low carbonation, but they still have once again, I put them in the freezer for like an hour. And the first one I actually poured like somewhat slurrily, like a little bit of ice consistency to it. So some lagers, like they're very temperature dependent. So if you serve them at 35 degrees versus 38 degrees versus 42 degrees, that's the difference between no head, half an inch ahead, and 1 inch ahead. So this was probably served closer to 35 degrees, and it has no head. It did pour with a little bit of head, but it dissipated quickly. There's a little bit of, I don't know if you could see it, but there's something called Brussels lacing on the side of the glass, where as the head dries out, it'll leave like a white lacing on the side of the glass. I did get that on this beer a little bit. Yeah, they were all fairly low carbonated, but that didn't take away from it. Like to me, that was like if you're rating on a scale of 1 to 100, like the carbonation will only count for 2 points out of 100 points when you're factoring in appearance, aroma, mouthfeel, flavor, carbonation, overall, alcohol, heat, like. So it was cool. Like this German Pilsner is excellent. The Bisaya Brew German Pilsner, 5 out of 5, guys. This was a great beer.
I'm not surprised the German wins your taste. I mean, like, let's face it, German beer, I mean, hell's bells, Oktoberfest, come on. I mean, it's not surprising that the German variety of the strain, if you want to call that, is the popular one. I mean, the Germans, they know how to make beer. They know how to make mechanical toys. They know how to construct shit. I mean, look at the Volkswagen, for God's sake. These guys know how to make stuff. So making a good beer, yeah, I can wear that.
Anybody wants to come in the live stream, you can come on. You do not need to show your face as long as you're a regular person. And you can come on up here. It's all good. And we'll just, we'll hang out. This is just a hangout. We're not trolling. We're not. And obviously, people who know Mr. Mead, his channel is focused on one specific con man in Bohol. We haven't mentioned that person at all tonight, and we're not going to, because he's got 100 videos talking about him, and I'm on a lot of them, and we see eye to eye on that certain con man in Bohol, but we're not here to talk about that con man in Bohol. Barry, who was just on the live stream, obviously we have his situation with a certain pathetic POS loser piece of shit.
Let's concentrate on your live stream. I don't want to detract from that.
This is a non-full live stream. We're just talking, having fun. We had Eric Video Lux, who's a Manila-based vlogger, on earlier. I sent the link out to Ricky. I know Mr. Mead and Ricky, they're not best of friends, but Ricky's with a girl tonight, so he told me he's probably not going to come on the live stream. So, let's get back to beer.
I have to ask, is it a girl or does it have a dangly bit? Because the people that Ricky hangs out with, we're not really sure. I mean, hey, that's, I mean, with Ricky, we don't know, And that's not being, twisted. I mean, we know that Ricky does like ladyboys, so,
Well, let's not say that. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt and say he was drugged that night. So I'll.
Okay.
I'll tell you what. I've hung out with Ricky. I've hung out with Ricky 30 times, and 20 of those times he was with a girl. The other times it was just me and him. As far as I know, and you know what, you never really know, but as far as I know, he likes girls. And if he had that situation with the lady boy, he's admitted it, he's acknowledged it, he's not running from it. it's on YouTube, so he's not. There's nothing he can do about it. But yeah, that's. I'm gonna give Ricky the benefit of the doubt and say he was drugged that night. So
well, okay, we're on. Okay, we're talking about there, but I'll be quite honest with you. You know, like in the Philippines, as you would know, and this is something that I think, you know, when newbies, I love to give information about the Philippines to the newbies. Now, you know, and I know, Sal, that there are so many guys out there that want to go to the Philippines, little, you know, like dreamers. You know, they never get there, but they look at, you know, live streams and videos like what you do, and they want the information, so when they get there, they don't appear totally out of the picture. But the fact is that in the Philippines, homosexuality, being a bakla, and that's what the term is, ladies and gentlemen, B-A-K-L-A-T, being a bakla in the Philippines is perfectly, totally, socially acceptable. They're great people. They're nothing, you know, they're not some twisted pedophile that hangs around a public toilet begging for blowjobs. They're not like that at all. The baklas of the Philippines are great people. Look, I'll tell you, I've got baklas in my own extended family, and I get on with them like a house on fire. They're lovely people to hang out with. In our society, homosexuality can be a stigma. In the Philippines, there's no stigma being a bakla. So you newbies who go to the Philippines, if you've got any kind of a prejudice against homosexuality, leave that at the airport, because it doesn't work in the Philippines.
yeah, they're definitely present here. They're everywhere. But yeah, there are guys looking for it here, and I don't know. Like, to me, I don't know much about it, but they're out here. That's for damn sure. So I don't mess with the politics here in the Philippines, and you know, as Mr. Bill just said, each to his own, or as the French would say.
Exactly, Mr. Bill. Thank you. Yeah, no, he's right. A cool comment. I'll totally agree with that. Good comment. But that last one, the one you put up before that, is a troll, because I have never in the Philippines had a motorbike. And if he's referring to a hog as a motorbike, I do not ride motorbikes in the Philippines because I'm not stupid.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Bill, the French have a term for it. The French say "à chacun son goût," which means to each their own. You all have, it technically translates, everybody has their own taste. "À chacun son goût." So, look, dude, I don't like ladyboys. Mr. Mead doesn't like ladyboys. I don't think Ricky likes ladyboys, but, you know, like, look, if you like ladyboys, cool. Like, do your own thing. That's à chacun son goût. You have your own taste, you know, so it's to each their own.
I have no problem with ladyboys in the Philippines or anywhere else. You know, like, it's a Western stigma. But when I'm in the Philippines, I'm not in the West. Look, my advice to everybody, when the Filipinos come here, my advice to the guys when they're coming here to work in casino, leave what you know about the Philippines and everything you do in the Philippines at the airport, because you're in Australia now. And what you do in the Philippines doesn't translate and doesn't transfer to here. You're now in Australia, you have to do it the Australian way. When I go to the Philippines, I can't do it the Australian way. They're just going to say, hey, mate, you're in the Philippines. You've got to do it the Filipino way. I'm a great believer in that. And in the Philippines, homosexuality, being a bakla, is completely socially acceptable. There's nothing in the Philippines culture that they don't frown on it. They don't look at it badly. They don't say they've got a mental illness. It's totally acceptable. Now, you know what's going to happen tomorrow, Sal, is everybody's going to turn around and say, GDME is a queer. Because I'm saying that homosexuality in the Philippines is totally acceptable. So the Hmong channels will be making videos about me tomorrow saying I'm a pervert and I want, you know, male sex. No, I'm just saying that in the Philippines, a ladyboy or a male that's a homosexual is perfectly normal. Their social structure is totally different to ours, and that's fully acceptable. When I'm in the Philippines, I accept the Philippines way of doing things. I
think it's about time to change topic. We will no longer discuss that topic here. And once again, there's Granville. I do want people to be respectful in the chat. If you want to say negative things, that's your right. But if you continue to say negative things, I do reserve the right to block, ban, or timeout you. So just a heads up. And I'm an American. I practice free speech, but I'm just asking people to be respectful. So we can we're going to respectfully change the topic here.
So we've got Mexican, German. What was the other one? What was the other one?
The first was the Mexican. The second was the Japanese rice lager. The third was the German Pilsner. The next up, next up is the Belgian wheat beer.
Oh.
And they have an Italian Pilsner that was delicious. My absolute favorite, but I couldn't find it. They sell it on the Sabu's.com website. Like it's a portmanteau, kind of like Behol and Hovel. You can say a portmanteau. You combine two words and do Behovel. Yeah. So Sabu is they're combining the words Sabu and booze. Sabu's.com.
Hey, that's clever. I like that. Yeah. That's clever.
And on Sabu's.com, they're available. I ordered them off Food Panda through an excellent Italian restaurant called Pizzeria Michelangelo.
Yep.
It's just outside of the gates of Maria Luisa subdivision, which is not probably, it is the most exclusive, expensive subdivision in Cebu. Houses start at 25, 30 million pesos for, just 10 to 15 million pesos for a lot. Houses go, there's a lot of 100 million.
I'll hear you. I'll be back in 2 seconds. I can still hear you.
Yeah, you got to take a piss. I know. But yeah, outside Maria Luisa, there's Maria Luisa is an expensive subdivision, and right outside Maria Luisa is kind of like a little street, and it's known as Paseo Saturino, and there's some excellent restaurants there. Pizzeria Michelangelo. There's a Greek restaurant called La Taverna. My absolute favorite Mexican restaurant is called Toya Tacos, Txoya Tacos. There's a couple other places there that it's obviously there's a little bit of money in that Maria Luisa subdivision, and so there's it's great. Pizzeria Michelangelo is one of the restaurants of, I'm gonna butcher their name, but the Emilier family. They own those pawn shops. An old Basque Spanish family, and Pizzeria Michelangelo is one of their prime spots. And their son Matty has kind of taken over the brewery side of the dozen different businesses and little parts that they run. And so if you want excellent wood smoked Italian dough, imported Parmesan, imported ham, imported tomatoes, everything imported, their pizzas are, I'm going to call them the second best pizza in Cebu, because I'm going to give the best pizza in Cebu to Pizzeria Manante. But I would call Pizzeria Michelangelo the second best pizza in Cebu. Definitely not the cheapest pizza, but it's
Piladong, expensive. Pilar. Yeah.
And that's what I've learned here in the Philippines, specifically for Cebu. Like, there is excellent food, there's excellent restaurants, but it ain't cheap. Like, it's you can get great food here. La Tobalata at Ayala Mall. There's a dozen restaurants. Excellent. Ipars is a Spanish restaurant on Ramos Street. Like, there's excellent restaurants, excellent steaks, whether it's imported USDA or Angus Australian beef. Like, there's excellent restaurants, but it's Western prices, and you can't get around it. You're looking I actually last night I ordered 2 pizzas from Michelangelo's, and they were about 1,500 pesos for 2 pizzas. But once again, Food Panda was doing just these killer promos. Like, I don't normally spend 1,500 pesos on 2 pizzas. I'm a little curry poet. I'm a budget guy. I try to keep, if I'm going to get 2 pizzas, let's keep it under 500 pesos. But Food Panda was they were killing it with the promos. So I'm just, Mr. Mead, you're trying to jump in here. What do you got to say?
Sal, there's nothing. No, I'm going to disagree with you because, look, you know, it really annoys me that there are so many guys over there that really are budget guys. I mean, can I rephrase that? Losers. They come over there on a shoestring budget. I mean, a pathetic, tiny little pension. Now, you've come over there, you've saved for years, and you had a really great job, and you've got money behind you, you've got a beautiful condo. You know, you travel all over the place. You get around. You know, like compared to the guy that's on a budget, I mean, you are living in a totally different world in Sabu. And I get so fed up with these elderly gentlemen that go over there on a $800 a month budget, and then it's all fine, and they're living quite nicely. But you know, I'm sitting in the Kiwi Lodge Hotel in Tutut Street in Mobile, just down the road from Osmania Circle, and this Aussie guy walks in and walks up to the bar and says, "Can I get credit for 2 stubbies?" And I'm embarrassed as hell. And I said, "Mate, here's 500 pesos. Don't embarrass yourself." You know. Now those are losers. And I'm fed up with meeting losers that we sit on the bar stool and they turn around and say, I've spent all my money. I've got nothing left. Can anybody help me get a ticket out of here? You are self-funded and reliable, and you pay your own way. You're not a budget guy. You're living decently and well. And, you know, it should be the minimum standard. You know, like so many guys over there, they're poor in their own country and now losers in the Philippines. And, you know, to be honest, I'm fed up with it. You know, like really, I know it's a really bad subject to talk about, but you know as well as I do that there's too many guys over there that shouldn't be there. Even in a third world country, they still can't afford it.
Well, yeah, you're speaking the truth. So I actually did a little bit of research on upper income brackets in the Philippines, and this is all straight from Philippine government websites, 2024. So it's up to date, accurate information. And here's the important thing to remember. So if you live on $2,700 a month, which is roughly 150,000 pesos a month at the current exchange rate, U.S. dollars versus Philippine peso. I know you're Australian, but we don't talk about that silly thing.
Ours is way lower. Ours is way lower. I think you're on about 58. We're on 37.
Yeah, so 2,700 US a month is 150,000 pesos a month. That would put you in the top 2% of Philippine income. Now, if you want to get to the top 1%, you need 3,500 US a month, which is roughly 200,000 Philippine pesos per month. So I'm at about the 2,700 a month. I actually, you know, a couple months ago when I hit my 2-year anniversary here, I sat down for a few hours and kind of analyzed everything that I've spent. I knew how much money I came here with. I knew what my bank account was when I arrived, and it was real simple. I just say, hey, I came here with $14,000 in my pocket. I had X amount in my bank account. That 14,000 is long gone, and now I have Y amount in my bank account. Long story short, I'm spending about 2,700 US a month here, and I'm traveling, I'm eating out, and I'm going, you know, drinking craft beer, going to fancy restaurants. I've had kids here, private hospitals, private doctors. I bought motorcycles. I support my girl's family. I live in a condo. I pay my visa fees. But in America, I was paying $2,700 a month rent. For a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house. Small, very small house, 2-bedroom, 1-bath, very small house in Long Beach, California. And I'm living here on $2,700 a month. And in California, yeah, I was working 60, 70 hours a week. So it's not like I was going on vacations and buying all this stuff. But you know what? Like, I still lived a good life in America. I still had girlfriends in America. I still went out to breweries. I still went out, had steak dinners. I had season tickets for the Clippers. I had season tickets for the Chargers. I still partied. Like I drank a lot of beer. I smoked a lot of weed. I ate a lot of good food. I, splurged here and there. And $2,700 a month in America, At least in Southern California, 2,700 a month, you would not live a great life. You would be sharing a bedroom in a 1-bedroom apartment with another dude. You would not certainly not be banging hot young girls. You're not going to be going out to fancy restaurants. You're not going to take vacations to tropical beaches. But here in the Philippines, on 2,700 a month, you could live extremely well. On 3,500 a month, you could live like that proverbial king, which everybody talks about. And then when you get to that like 4,000 to 5,000 a month threshold, like, well, now you're getting silly, like, because if you're single and you're bar finding girls and you're an alcoholic and you're traveling and all that and you're just wasting money, yeah, 4,000 or 5,000 a month's where you need to be, but like 2,700 to 3,500 a month, like, amazing lifestyle here in the Philippines. Absolutely amazing.
Would you agree with me that the one thing that's ruining the Philippines for people like you and me are the 2-week millionaires? The 2-week millionaires who go to the Philippines, they're there for 2 weeks, they've saved for 2 years to get there, and if the tricycle ride is 50 pesos, they give them 200. If the haircut is 50 pesos, they give them 500.
I'll be right back.
Folks, the 2-week millionaires, the dreamers and the losers that finally have saved up and end up getting a ticket to the Philippines. Now, I'll be honest with you, and seriously, Dumaguete is the classic example of this. Dumaguete is no longer a Filipino city. It's a Western enclave. And what's happening in Dumaguete is that because it's so Western now, there's so many Westerners there, there's so many expats there, and every one of them has got a camera, every one of them is making a video, every one of them is vlogging, come to Dumaguete. So you go onto YouTube and you're one of these people that, I want to go to the Philippines. So you get drawn to Dumaguete and you get sucked in to this Western ideal of being in Dumaguete, but the 2-week millionaires are prostituting the economy of Dumaguete so badly it's not funny. And now what's happening, the locals in Dumaguete are getting used to the fact that the 2-week millionaires are putting their kids through college. I'm not kidding. The local fishmonger is realizing that the 50 pesos a kilo that he was getting for tilapia, I can now sell to the foreigner for 500 pesos. The tricycle driver to run you around town that used to charge 10 pesos a ride is getting tipped 100 pesos here and 200 pesos there by the 2-week millionaire. So that's what he's charging. The local carinderia owner where you get your morning breakfast and, whatever, normally he would be selling that to you for 150 pesos, but the 2-week millionaire is, look at me, I'm generous, I'm from Los Angeles, I've got money to burn, and he's giving him 500. The economy of Dumaguete has been blown to bloody smithereens by the 2-week millionaire, and now the local Filipino is realizing, hey, shit, these foreigners really are rich. I only wanted 50 pesos, and the fool has just given me 500. I shit you not, ladies and gentlemen, that's what's happening. And Dumaguete is now, don't go, because better off going to some other place, because Dumaguete is now becoming one of the most expensive destinations in the Philippines for expats, because the 2-week millionaires, they go over there with $3,000 or $4,000 in their pocket, which is this much. They walk into the local exchange thing and they walk out with this much, and they just start blowing it. It's
that being said, I disagree with very little you said right there, but I'm probably going to move to Dumaguete next year, and I'm not a 2-week man, but yeah. So I've gone to Dumaguete maybe 3 1-week vacations this year, 2 1-week vacations last year. And by Dumaguete, I specifically mean Valencia, which is the city just 5 kilometers up the mountain from there. which is basically where most of the foreigners are going. And I blame that specifically on 3 or 4 very, very popular YouTubers. Every Man Has a Story, Rike, Old Dog New Tricks. I think Geo was there for a bit. So a lot of guys have settled in Valencia. So why Valencia?
Have you met Paul?
I spent a lot of time in Valencia, and let me tell you this much: like, it's a small town. It kind of has like just that small town feel, but you're 15 minutes away from the Robinsons Mall and domestic airport, major seaport with inter-island transfers. Dumaguete's the 12th biggest city in the Philippines, and it's just a step away. Now, as far as like rental pricing and everything in Valencia, well, go on YouTube, type in Valencia rental property or Valencia house rental.
And they're going through the roof. They're going through the roof.
Videos from 4 or 5 years ago, and you'll see all these YouTubers saying, "Oh, look at this 3-bedroom house in Valencia with a view and a pool. It's $12,000 a month." Well, that's $40,000 a month now. It has tripled in cost. It has not doubled. It has tripled in cost. There has been, let's just call it 10,000 foreigners have moved to Valencia in the past 5 years. So the population of Valencia has literally gone from 30,000 to 40,000, or maybe 30,000 to 50,000. 10,000 of those guys are pensioners. Most of them are not what Mr. Mead would classify as 2-week millionaires. A lot of those guys are literally here for 2 weeks. They go to Sabu. They go to Manila. They go to Angeles. They literally will spend 1 million pesos in 2 weeks. And 20,000 guys a year come to the Philippines on a 2-week vacation and will spend 1 million pesos. The Dumaguete crowd, not so much. Dumaguete is definitely cheaper than Manila, definitely cheaper than Sabu, cheaper than most tourist areas, but it used to be super cheap. I mean, just dirt cheap. Like, you can get a house for 6,000, 10,000 pesos a month. Well, now it's 30 to 40,000 pesos a month. But the thing I like about Dumaguete is there's a couple of reasons. One, it's cooler. It's 5 to 8 degrees cooler. So if you spent a couple years in 80-degree heat in Sabu or Manila or Tagbilaran or somewhere on a lowland city area, and now you're in like a 72-degree area, well, guess what? You don't need to run the aircon. Philippines has some of the highest per kilowatt electrical rates in the world. And, people say, well, what's your aircon? What's this? Well, let's just break it down. Like, if you want to run the aircon, depending on the temperature, depending on the speed, the size of the house, the type of the aircon unit, you're at like 10 to 20 pesos per hour. So if you like me, I'm in a 2-bedroom apartment. I have 2 aircon units. The living room one, we run damn near 24 hours a day. That thing, we could go 2 weeks without turning that thing off. It runs on a low power, but about 21, 22 degrees. And the one in the bedroom we usually turn on at night. So I'm basically running in my apartment condo, I'm running the aircon 30 hours a day. Wow. At 10, 12, 15 pesos an hour. Real quick, you're at 10,000 pesos a month. So if you're on a budget, if you're trying to live on like a $1,500 or $2,000 a month budget, like 10,000 pesos.
And you know that so many are.
Yeah, and if you don't need to spend 8, 10, 12,000 pesos a month on aircon, Valencia is a great spot. And then here's another thing. So it's like Mr. Mead alluded to earlier today, or in this live stream. Luckily, it was fairly easy for me to, which I thought would be hard. Like, from the age of 5 to 40, I was either working or going to school. So all of a sudden at 40, well, guess what? For literally the first time since I'm 5 years old, I'm not working and I'm not going to school. All right, I'm retired. It was weird. Like, I'll admit, like, the first few months was a little weird. Like, I'd wake up in the morning and think,
well done.
I was thinking like, I need to call this distributor. I need to reschedule with these employees. I need to call this customer. I need to do this. Like, we need to do this. And like, then it's 7 a.m. and I wake up and I'm like, wait a second. No, I don't need to do that. I'm in the Philippines and I'm retired. And it was a weird situation. And honestly, like after I graduated college at the age of 22, for a couple years after I graduated college, I would still wake up in the morning thinking like, oh shit, I got a test today. I need to study for this, or I need to finish this paper to turn it in. And I'd wake up and be like, wait a second, like I graduated 2 years ago. I don't need to wake up and study. So I still it still happens. Even like a month or two ago, I woke up like a month ago, not in a cold sweat, but I literally woke up like an hour earlier than I would have. And like thinking like, I've got to do this. I need to like, this employee called out sick. I need to like this distributor. I need to like talk with this like regulator. And then like, it would actually stress me out. And then like 2 minutes later, I'd like be like, oh, wait, no. I'm in the Philippines. I don't need to call that employee and reschedule. Everything was great. Well, now bringing this back to the Valencia situation, you've got 10,000 guys that were watching these YouTubers in Dumaguete, Valencia, and moved out there. And these guys most of them are not as young as me. Most are in their like late 50s, 60s, some in their 70s, been working, going to school the last 50 years, their whole lives. And a lot of guys can't just flip that switch into retirement and relaxing and having fun. Like some guys, they got to keep going. They got to keep going. So in Valencia, dude, there's a bunch of guys who started bars. There's like a cigar lounge. There's a gourmet hot dog place. There's a sushi place. There's a couple Mexican restaurants. You got all these guys like starting businesses just because they can't relax and retire. So let's be honest. Like if a guy starts a sushi lounge in Valencia, like you really think he's going to be profitable. He's never run a sushi lounge in his life. He's never done it in America. What makes him think like, if you were a plumber in America, what makes you think you could run a sushi lounge in America, let alone a sushi lounge in the Philippines? Well, guess what? 100 guys a year think they can. There's thousands of white guys that dream about moving to the Philippines, moving to Southeast Asia and starting a bar. Well, guess what? 95%.
Are you guys out here listening to this guy? Listen to him.
95% of these guys are not profitable. There's a farmer in Bohol that situation applies to him too. So the fact is, the vast majority of these guys, whether it's Dumaguete, Angeles, Sabu, Valencia, doesn't matter. They come over here. They can't just relax and retire. They got to start a business. They got to keep going. Maybe there's even a bit of colonialism mentality where some guys think that they're like better than these little brown people and they could do it better. They're smarter. They went better businessmen. They got more money, better education. Well, guess what happens 3 years later? They tuck their tails between their legs. They lose 4 million pesos and then they like shut down shop, or they got to go back to America, Australia, and go back to work. So that benefits me and you, the consumer, because I'm not the businessman. I'm just there to buy the hot dog. I'm there to buy the sushi roll. I'm there to smoke at the cigar lounge. And if you're losing money, you're unprofitable. Well, you can get a sushi roll for 120 pesos, or you could get a gourmet hot dog for 120 pesos, and it should be 250 if they're trying to earn a profit. But these guys, God bless them, but they watched a little too much YouTube. And, some guys, they watch a guy in Bohol selling a dream about owning a farm and living the simple life. Some guys watch YouTubers and they think that they're going to open up a bar in Angeles City, or they're going to open up a taco stand in Dumaguete, and 95% failure, 95% unprofitable. So it's the way of the land.
Can you give me a couple of seconds? Because listen, I really appreciate what you're saying, because you are talking the truth about the reality of what it's like to live in the Philippines. Now, all you guys out there, everybody that's watching, now a little bit earlier, Sal said to me, I'm not a very good YouTuber and I don't know how to run a live stream. Well, I'm sorry, Sal, but you're making a mistake, because you're doing excellent now. And what you're doing actually is everything that we've spoken about, and I haven't pushed it, and I haven't, I really am happy to listen to how you're putting things across, because, hey, guys out there that are watching us, anybody who wants to go to the Philippines, hey, this guy is already there. He's been there for several years. He knows what he's doing. But look at him. He's a young bloke who worked his ass off in California, saved enough money to go out there. I mean, look at him. He's a young, good-looking, tall, strong bloke with money in his pocket. Now, he is not the typical guy that goes to the Philippines. The typical guy that goes to the Philippines is a 60-year-old or pensioner. The amount of young guys in the Philippines like Brevis, you count on the palm of your hand. They don't exist. This guy is a self-funded, hard-working guy that's got money behind him, and he lives a good life. Most of the guys now, I've got a guy who's a part Cherokee. He's from Arkansas, and he lives in Hilongos Leyte. He's renting a 2-bedroom hollow block house for 4,000 pesos a month. I think his income is like 1,100 American dollars a month. Now, the benchmark, Sal, would you agree with this? The benchmark that they say you need a minimum 1,000 US dollars a month. Would you agree with that benchmark? All the
I would not
saying that?
on under 1,000 a month. Truthfully, if you're living in the city, you're running the aircon, you're going back to your home country, you've got kids, you're getting closer to 2,000 with inflation. But I do not envy anybody living on under $1,000 a month.
Exactly, and that's why I'm really glad that you put this up, and that's why I'm glad we're talking about this tonight. So yeah, the Belgian one. Now listen, Sal is there. He's there right now in Sabu. He lives there. He's paying the price. Listen to what this man says, because he's telling you the truth. Now, I go to the Philippines every year. I'm married to a Filipina. We own property in the Philippines. We own a number of properties, actually. But you don't want to hear my story. You want to hear about the truth from a guy on the spot. Well, that bloke is Brevis. You know as Brevis. I know as Sal. That's a long story. I'm not going to go into it. Listen to what he says. If you're an expat wannabe to go to the Philippines, listen to what he says, because he is way above the normal bloke. I can introduce you to dozens and dozens and dozens of expats in the Philippines. None of them up the ladder where Brevis is. There are so many people under his level, it's not funny. And most of them are under his level. So if he wants to tell you something, what I'm saying to you people is listen to him. Listen to the experience. Listen to the voice who knows what's going on. And that's my best advice to you. But here is the second piece of best advice I'll give to anybody who's considering moving to and retiring to and living in the Philippines. If you go there without a plan B, shoot yourself in the head before you get on a plane. Make sure that you've got at least $10,000 emergency funds in the bank that you can get your hands on. If you haven't got an absolutely strong insurance plan. If you go to the Philippines without medical insurance, you are a dyed-in-the-wool moron. Would you agree with that, Sal? No medical insurance, don't go to the Philippines. What happens if, like me, in May last year, I ended up in hospital with pneumonia. 553,000 pesos for 7 days in hospital. If you haven't got that insurance, you're rooted. You're rooted. That's
yeah. I know we've once again, Mr. Mead and I, we see eye to eye on a lot of things, and but there's certain things we disagree on. I do not have medical insurance out here, and
you're young.
But I'm young. I'm extremely healthy.
Yeah.
I had,
yeah, exactly. I can identify with that.
I mean, not like, I know anything could happen tomorrow, but like I'm extremely healthy. I had perfect attendance in high school. I went like 15 years without ever having like a fever or a headache or anything. And yeah, I've had food poisoning. I've broken a finger. I've sprained an ankle, like little things like that. But for the most part, I'm trying to go till I'm like 50 without medical insurance. I'm trying to go 50 before I need to take Viagra or Cialis, or I need to do Botox or anything like that. But yeah, if you're in your 50s or 60s, get some sort of like medical insurance emergency fund. Younger, healthy guys, I'm not going to say they're morons for doing that. It is a risk. And, when my first job out of college, I worked in the insurance industry for 5.5 years. And like, I studied history, and I actually kind of did a deep dive into like the concept of insurance. Quick 30-second history lesson. It originated in China versus for like Chinese farmers that were along the riverbanks of flood-prone rivers. And over time, those farmers got poorer and poorer and poorer, and the insurance carriers got richer and richer and richer. But China is a land of like historical revolutions. So like a lot of times the moneyed landed class, the rich people, they got overthrown, they got killed, and the farmers who were getting taxed got their money back. But that being said, if you're in your 50s or 60s and you want peace of mind, you need health insurance, you need an emergency plan. Guys in their 30s and 40s who are extremely healthy, who are on a budget, you know what? It's a personal decision. I've made the personal decision not to have health insurance. I got to have health insurance for my daughter and my girlfriend. I got Phil Health for them, and it helped out a little bit. Like 150,000 peso bill at the private hospital, private doctor for cesarean section. Phil Health paid out like 19,000. So it does help, but for the most part, you know what? Like if you're older, get health insurance. If not, don't. Excuse me, Mr. Mead. Let me continue with my next beer review.
Yes.
So I have
yes,
I
yes,
just
yeah.
cracked the
Yeah,
Bisaya Brew
So
Belgian
Bisaya-
wheat.
Belgian. Come on. And so this is the one with the you were saying was with the wheat. Yeah.
So this is a Belgian wheat Bisaya Brew brewed here in Sabu City. It pours once again a light golden color. This one definitely has a little bit of a head to it. It pours a little foamy. You could see that. Small laced bubbles. A tiny bit of a sweet, possibly too sweet of a flavor.
You mean
A little
sugary?
bit of sweet, sugary, creamy. It could even be like a hint of like lactose, like a milk lactose flavor. By Belgian wheat, I think it would be the beer style classification would be considered a Belgian wit, not a Belgian wheat. It does not list coriander as an ingredient on the bottle. It just says water, hops, barley, and yeast. But I would bet dollars to donuts that this does have coriander addition to it. It's definitely carbonated, a little sweet. It's enjoyable. I don't know if I would drink 4 or 5 or 6 of these, but this is definitely a little different. It's not a lager like the previous 3 beers. This is an ale. Still enjoyable, but it's just a little sweet for me, a little bit cloying, kind of a chewy mouthfeel, but it's good. If you want to like compare it to like the best seller of the style, it would be the Hoegaarden Wit. So for a local Sabu brewery to carry this, I'm impressed. I would give it a 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5.
Let me kind of just thumbs up.
Point below the German one. Yeah, okay.
So yeah, I've had these 4 beers.
Yeah.
And they're all solid. Nothing was great. I think the German Pilsner was the best amongst them.
Okay.
But this Belgian wheat it's interesting. It's good. It's just a touch too sweet. Let me see if I can find an ABV. It says 5.0.
5.0 alcohol. Shit. So you got to be careful with it. I mean, that'll get up and bite you. Now, listen, Sal, a point that I just thought of, and I don't know if this is important, but I think people might ask. So you've got the Mexican, you've got the Dutch, you've got the Belgian, you've got the German. Can I ask, are they all the same price, or do the different beers have a different price? I think that's an important point.
No, they were all the same price. They're all 150 pesos a beer. But with the discounts on Panda Pro, they were all 60 pesos a beer, which is an amazing deal.
Yes.
On Sabus.com, they're 110 pesos a beer plus delivery. Looking at the comments
I know
here,
you are also a very, very prolific attendant of a lot of the clubs around town in Sabu. Do the clubs sell them for that price, or is the price extremely high? What would they sell for in the club? Like if you bought a bucket of Sabu, those beers, what would a bucket cost you?
so most of the clubs do not sell craft beer. They would just sell like bottles of Absolute, bottles of Johnny Walker, and San Miguel products. There are a couple clubs that do sell craft beer bottles or on tap. And no, they're not at that price. They're getting closer to 300 pesos per bottle or per 12-ounce draft pour. Trademark is probably has the best selection of craft beer for all the clubs. Matter of fact, that might be the only club disco type of thing that actually does carry craft beer. The owner is a American dude, a black dude named Ed from San Francisco, and he loves craft beer. He's come to a couple of our events, and we've like I've shared beers with him, private tastings. I've met him a few times, and he does appreciate. He has knowledge of beer, but most places in Cebu don't carry craft beer. Let me just look through the chat here. So not the Fed. So a German Hefeweizen. No, they do not have a German Hefeweizen. There are some breweries that carry German Hefeweizens, but not what I'm drinking tonight. Pulska, that's an ignorant comment, sir. You really don't know what you're talking about. I doubt you have much experience in the Philippines. There's over 70 breweries.
And I was not impressed.
There's over 70 breweries in the Philippines, and about 30 or 40 of them aren't great. But there's a dozen or so breweries in the Philippines that could hang with any American, Australian, European brewery. They import most of their ingredients. So, I'm not a huge fan of San Mig Light, San Mig Pilsen, Red Horse, Colt 45, or Beer Knob Beer, or Eagle, or any of those. But you know what? San Miguel has an excellent market share. I think it's close to 97% of the beer market is San Miguel, which is probably one of the biggest near monopolies of any national brewer of any country in the world. Like take America, for example. The number one best-selling brand in America is Anheuser-Busch, and they have like a 20% market share. You take Australia, it's probably Victoria Bitter. They might have a 25 or 30% market share. So for San Miguel to have a 97% market share is unheard of. It's probably one of the biggest beer monopolies in the world of any country. So for craft beer to like get in there and take 1, 2, 3, 4%, because then there's of course like Heineken, Corona, like Beck's. They take a percent or two. And then craft beer takes a percent or two. So, things change, like people's taste change as the Filipinos have more money. I could see them widening their palates and tasting new beers. And, I worked at a brewery back in America for a couple of years. And something to be said is that, like, once people switch to craft beer, they almost never switch back to light lagers like the Budweiser, Heineken.
Yes.
Once they're craft beer drinkers, they stay on craft beer. And, in America, like it's probably 60% macro lagers, which is the BMC, Bud, Miller's, Coors, And then the Mexican brews like Modelo, Corona, Dos Equis, they've got a huge market just because there's so many Mexicans in America. And in Western Europe, of course, like the big guys like Beck's, Steinlagers, Newcastle, Guinness, they all have their big national followings. But once people switch to craft beer, they kind of stick with it, especially if you're in that upper class or upper middle class income bracket. Like a lot of people like the flavor of it. So next, Zeke Polska, I'm going to disagree with you there. But yeah,
I'll disagree with it too. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm a craft beer drinker. I've brewed beer in my kitchen from like 2005 to 2008. I was a home brewer. I would do 5-gallon batches. I was not an award-winning brewer. Like I kind of jokingly called myself the world's worst brewer. But even then, like if I did, say I did I don't know, let's say I'm pushing 1,000 gallons of beer over a 3-year period of when I would brew. I think I might have only had to pour 10 gallons down the drain because it was so bad. Yeah, part of it, I had an alcoholic roommate who was like, don't pour it down the drain, let me drink it for free. And I would let him drink my bad beer. But, you know, if like a lot of craft beer drinkers, they kind of migrate towards IPAs, and which is India Pale Ale. It's more of the hoppy stuff.
Well, the
And
more sugar, the better, right?
Yeah, any fresh hopped, fresh IPA is always going to be good. Like I've tried thousands of beers, and like the best beers I've ever had were at the Long Beach Home Brew Club from home brewers who just brought it into the monthly meetings. And just because it was so fresh and they weren't worried about, like, they weren't a corporation trying to turn a profit and like get distribution and market share. So it was, yeah, like it just depends on everybody's flavor. Like, but I don't knock anybody for what they drink. Like if you like box wine, if you like tanned wine, if you like San Miguel, whatever, like, you know, I don't criticize anybody. Like, so what you like, to each their own taste. Chacun son goût. But I like craft beer. I like the hoppier stuff. I love that German Pilsner. This Belgian wheat's a little sweet, but it's still enjoyable. I wouldn't go drink a 6-pack of this every night, but it's a good beer.
Listen, Sal, I've got 2 things to tell you very quickly. I don't want to take up your time, but I know that your lease is coming up shortly. You had a 12-month lease, and you must be getting pretty close to that. Is that correct? I mean,
no. I renewed it for an additional 12 months. So my lease is up in 8 months. I have 8 more months now.
Because listen, something has happened within my family circle, which is quite important for someone like yourself. We've built a Western apartment house on my property in Cordoba, and it's just now coming into its final stages, and it's a beautiful property. And what's happened is the people that were going to occupy it are now transferred to Australia. So that property is becoming vacant very shortly, and it's brand new. And I was thinking, like, you know, I've got my rice land that I can't even give it away. I don't know what the problem is here. But do you know Mactan Island at all?
Okay. Yes, I do.
Well, you know the CCLEX. Okay. My property is 500 meters. When you come off the CCLEX in Cordoba, you turn right to go towards Cordoba. You turn left to go to Lapu Lapu, but when you turn right to go to Cordoba, my property is 500 meters down on the right-hand side. It's right on the major highway. And we've built a 3-bedroom complex on that lot, and it's got everything. You know what I mean? It's Western style. And now what's happened is the family members that were going to go in there and look after it have relocated to Australia, and we've got nobody else to go into it. So although I'm talking to you now over the internet and everybody's hearing what I'm saying, I was going to say to you, because I thought your lease was coming up, and I was going to say to you, go and have a look and make me an offer.
Yes, well, let's talk off YouTube about that issue. But yeah, yeah, I'm semi interested. But yeah, I'll love to go out there, check the property out, and make an offer.
I would actually like to ask you to go out there and have a look at it for me. Because the whole thing has been built without me being present, and although I've got periodic, if you're not there, is the 15 mil rebar the 15 mil rebar or 9 mil rebar? Is the 6-inch water pipe 6-inch water pipe or 2-inch water pipe? You know what I mean?
Yeah. We can discuss that off YouTube a little bit. I think
I would love that if you would, like I asked you to send me an email on that, especially, I mean, I've got stuff there that I'm sure that between you and me, we could make a deal on, you know what I mean? If you wanted to stay in the Philippines on a extended thing, if you arranged, for example, as the managing agent for our rice land, and we pay you a commission for that, I'm willing to do that because, mate, we've had it for over 20 years and we've made nothing out of it. Where it has a yield of 8.5 million pesos. And I mean, mate, fair income. I'm getting the shits. And I really am. It's genuine, it's real. It does exist. I'm not talking crap. I can send you the surveys, I can send you the lot numbers, I can send you the title, I can send you all the information. I'm not talking crap. It exists. But we can't get anybody reliable to work it. And it's going to yield 8.5 million pesos. You'd think someone would jump at it, and so we can't find anybody.
I hear you. Yeah, that's probably going to be a ongoing problem. My girl's from the hole, and I could put the word out there. But let's talk off YouTube about pricing and all that.
Do that. Let me know how we can contact each other and do that. I'd love to do that. Yeah. Because, mate,
let me get back into not the Fed. Hey, thanks for being an active commenter in this. I do appreciate your comments, and you seem like a normal dude. If you want to come on the live stream, you're more than welcome. The link's in the chat. I just be respectful and everything. You don't need to show your face. I know I'm not calling you a troll, but I know some people don't want to show their face. But if you want to come on, you can come talk. We can have a conversation. I'm not, as you can see, I'm a pretty normal person. Like, I know a lot of trolls are, I've trolled people. Trolls are jealous of me. And for the most part, I've stopped trolling. Like, you can look on my past live videos, the live streams I've made. For the vast majority of it, I have stopped trolling. And yeah, I mean, guys like that farmer in Bohol, I do he's a con man, and I'll call him a con man till the day he dies or I die. It's just that's a fact. I'm not trolling. It's a fact. Guys like Frank Battaglia, they're human POSs, and they need to be called out. But for the most part, since I've been in the Philippines for 2 years, I've stopped trolling. I'll admit, in the past, I definitely did troll, and I'm not saying I'll never troll again, but when I was in the U.S., yeah, I trolled certain people, but I look at it and I actually did some introspective questioning of myself and said, well, why did I troll? Why am I trolling people? And I thought that it came down to jealousy. And I'm looking at people saying I was jealous of guys living in the Philippines, and here I am working in America, heavy hours working in America. And, you know, what's going on in my life? Why am I trolling these people? And like, I kind of felt guilty about some of the people I trolled in the past, you know, the Peter Vandevers, you know, and guys like that.
No, don't feel guilty about that. The guy was a moron. No, don't
Yeah,
feel guilty about that, Sal. That Peter Vandever was, I mean, that guy was that guy needed every shit thrown at him. I mean, the guy was, seriously, that guy, Sal, fair dinkum, that guy was off the planet.
yeah. And like,
Sorry.
and if I was to, you know, introspectively be honest of why I trolled, I was jealous of people. I'll admit it. Like, there were people that I was jealous that I'm working in America, they're living in the Philippines. I'm in my 30s, late 30s at the time, and like, I did have Filipino girlfriends. Like, I had, let's just say, I mean, I'm not bragging here, but I had unlimited Filipino pussy in America. But I did not have that like hot 19-year-old skinny Filipina, which I can get here. So it's a little bit of a different thing. Like, I had in the past 10 years, I had 4 Filipina girlfriends in America, but they were all my age. Some were a little chubbier than I would have preferred. And like, I kind of thought like, I'll admit it. I was honest of guys that were out here hanging out in the Philippines that were retired. And I was in America working, and I was working heavy hours, 70, 80 hours a week. But I was on duty 70 to 80 hours a week. I wasn't necessarily like busy at a computer typing. I was sitting in a back room watching cameras, supervising people at, trimmers, growers, like bud tenders, like opening, closing, but I couldn't leave. And like, you know, I'm working 80 hours a week, but to say I was working 80 hours a week, I might have been on job site 80 hours a week, but I was only really working 20 to 30 hours a week. So I had 40, 50, 60 hours a week. What did I do? Well, I'm dreaming about the Philippines. So I'm watching Philippine YouTube channels, jealous of these people, and I started trolling them. And truthfully, like, I kind of feel bad about it looking back on it. And like, some would say, like, the people trolling me now, it's karma coming back on me for like the trolling I did. Now I'm getting trolled. And like, hold on, Mr. Mead. I was jealous of guys living in the Philippines. Hold on, Mr. Mead. Hold on. I was jealous of guys when I was working, and I would troll them. And like, truth be told, like, the trolls that are trolling me, like, if you look in the mirror and you do some introspective analysis, like, you're probably jealous of me. And it's a fact. And like, yes, I'm probably younger, I'm taller, I'm better looking, I'm richer, I'm better educated, but you know what? Like, don't be jealous. Don't troll me. Be proud of me. Like, be like, you know what? That guy did it. He made it. He retired at 40, and he never needs to work again the rest of his life. And he's living in the Philippines, and he's having a great time traveling Asia, getting girls for free. Like, it is what it is. Like, hey, I respect trolls. I was a troll. I've stopped trolling. But guys, eventually, someday, you guys will stop trolling. And what Mr. Mead does to that farmer in Behold, that's not trolling. That's just calling out a con man. So I support him. Like, there's certain people like you can call people out. It's not trolling. Like, those are facts. Like what Mr. Mead is spitting, those are facts. He's literally warning people because a lot of vulnerable people who are driving trucks across America lonely, haven't had a girlfriend in 15 years. They're just driving that truck on I-5. They're dreaming about owning some farm in the Philippines. And here's this smooth talking, silver tongued devil out in Behold saying, oh, yeah, you can own a farm out here. You're going to do this. Just invest with me. We're going to start this shrimp pond. We're going to start this tilapia pond. And you know what? He sucked millions of pesos from dozens of guys. And Mr. Mead's warning people about that. So I don't look at him as a troll. He's actually spitting facts. What I did was trolling. I was a troll. I'll admit it. I was a troll. And I want to just like straight up apologize to one person right here, right now. Dave Phelps. Look me in the eye, Dave Phelps. I'm sorry for trolling you. I definitely trolled you a little too hard, but most of what I did was I was bluffing. I never really did a lot of the things I said. Basically, nothing that I said. And I do apologize and bury the hatchet. It is what it is. I know you got your wife and kids out in Texas now, and I don't troll anymore. Like, look at all my videos. Look at the comments I make on other people's live streams. Pretty much, other than that certain farmer in Bohol, I don't really troll anybody anymore. I'm done with it, man. Like,
Can
I'm
I
living
jump
here.
in?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Well, look, guys out there, as I said, I became friends with Sal when he visited me in my in my hospital room when things were really bad. But that gives me a personal connection to the host of this live stream tonight, and I don't make any excuse for that. But what I would like to say is, here is a young man who has worked hard, saved his money. He's now moved to Sabu. He's there right now. If you are a person out there in internet land that wants to move to Cebu and or any part of the Philippines and have a life in the Philippines, my intimation to you, my urging to you is to listen to what Sal has to say and follow his advice, because he's living the life. Look at him. He's a very young man who is living the life, and that's the life that you want to live. I'm a lot older. I'm nearly 30 years older than Sal. And so what I'm saying to you is, listen to the voice of experience about the Philippines, myself and Sal. Like, you can call us, you don't have to like us, you don't have to respect us, you don't have to listen to us. But we have experience in the Philippines. And I suggest that all of you who think that you can go to the Philippines and lie in a hammock all day long on a white sandy beach on $1,000 a month, being fed cold beers by brown skin beauties, well, I don't know where the hell you got that idea from, but a lot of you seem to have that idea, and it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. Listen to this guy, what he says, and tune into his channel, and just take his advice, because look at him. Look at him. What are you looking at? He's not you. He's a hell of a lot younger than you, and he's a hell of a lot more switched on than you, and he has got the budget. And without the budget in the Philippines, anybody out there that's thinking of going to the Philippines and living there without the budget, you're not going to live anywhere near like what he's living like. Nowhere near it. And you're going to end up in deep shit if you get sick or get hurt in a motorbike accident or whatever. Just, tonight, and the thing is, this guy's smart. He knows how things work, and he's putting that across to you. So like I say, listen. Please listen. Okay? That's it.
Well, thank you for the kind words. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm not the smartest, I'm not the richest, but I did well. Let me go back to the chat. So Mike Ross said, you were a grower in the US. It sounds like you manage a grow facility. No, I was not a grower in the US. I worked for a marijuana corporation, and we had multiple cultivation facilities, and I did not manage those facilities. I was one of the managers. You can even call me a vice president of the company. And we had all the licenses, everything except lab testing. We had cultivation, we had seed genetics, we had distribution, manufacturing, delivery, storefront, and event planning. We even had an architectural license. We had a consultant architect under our banner. But as far as like saying I'm a grower or manage a grow facility, no. No, the master growers manage the grow facilities, and they were employees of ours. So I was never a grower. Have I grown weed?
You worked for a company that paid you a shitload of money. End of story.
So correction there. No, they did not pay me a shitload of company. I received stock options, which I cashed out at the end. And those stock options, the first 7 years were not very valuable. Plus, I never had a very high salary. But the last 2 years, you could say we about 8x'd our stock price, and I got out at a good time. And
Well,
you
that's
know,
what I'm
I'm not.
saying. You work for a company that made it possible for you to be living in the Philippines now.
Yeah, but
You did well.
that,
You did
I
well.
did,
Good on you.
but if I was gonna live a good lifestyle like I live here in Southern California, I would not have been able to retire. Yes, I did well, but you know what? Like, I'm not buying Ferraris. I'm not flying private. But I was able to retire at 40, and I don't need to work the rest of my life. And I did okay, but you know what? I am on a budget here. It's like if I was spending 4 or 5 thousand a month, like 10 years from now, maybe I would kind of do the math and be like, ooh, maybe I need to go back to work. But if I'm staying in that, 3,000 to 3,000 bucks a month, 3,500 a month, like I'm fine, man. I mean, there's 40-year-olds or there's 30-year-old Bitcoin guys worth billions, and there's 50-year-old guys who are totally broke. I'm in between them, and you know what? Like, it's the way life is. Like, I'm not, I don't have a penthouse apartment. I'm not buying Ferraris. I'm not flying private. I'm not hosting orgies with supermodels. But you know what? I'm doing well. I'm not living in a concrete block, unrendered shack in Bohol, like e-begging either. So you know what? I'm in between. Whether I'm closer to the top or closer to the bottom, that's up to you guys to decide. I don't brag about my situation. I am on a budget here, absolutely. It's whether I'm in the top 1% or 2%, but yeah, I'm on a budget, and yeah, I love it out here. I'm not here in the Philippines forever. Whether I'm here 5 years or 10 years, I do plan on going back, whether it's to America, whether I want to go to Argentina for a year, go to Tokyo for a year, like go like, travel middle America, going to jazz festivals, playing golf and watching football games and, hockey games. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, but I do love the Philippines, and I'll be here at least another 5 years for
Well,
sure.
listen, I want to reiterate an invitation that I think I gave to you last time we spoke. Now, and I can back this up with absolute proof. If you ever want to break down under, now it's not far from the Philippines to Australia. Now, Sal, here's how it works with me, and I can prove this to you by putting you in contact with other subscribers to my channel who've actually done this. So what I'm going to say to you right now is it's been done before by other people, and I can put you in contact with them. Now, mate, I said to you, if you want to break in Australia, all you have to do is get your return air tickets out of Brisbane. That's it. I will pick you up from Brisbane Airport, and for as long as you're here, it's on me. That's my pledge to you, and that's the truth. Now, next month, on October the 23rd, Jeffrey Namoya, Sneaky Yellow Devil from San Francisco, is arriving in Brisbane. I will be picking him up, and I will be hosting him for his entire trip here to Australia. He's coming down here to meet me as GDME, a foreigner telling truth in the Philippines, and him and I are getting on like a house on fire, and all he needs is his return ticket. That's it. Now, he's the first international guest I've had, but I have had several domestic guests here. Now, Wayne Grintel from West Wyalong, and he's coming back this month as well so that he can meet Jeffrey from San Francisco, and we'll be hosting both of them in my house. Tony from Adelaide has been up here, and I've hosted him for the time that he was here. Went up to Ballina, our domestic airport, and picked him up and drove him back and looked after him the whole time. Now, Sal, you and Hazel and your darling little baby, if you want to break and get away and just have some time. The only thing that it's going to cost you to bring your family to Australia is your return ticket, because the minute you get off that plane, you're in my hands. End of story. That's what I do. That's who I am, and that's how much I respect what you did for me, and that's something for me to show my thanks. And mate, it will happen. And I would be more than bloody grateful for you to do that. I'd be grateful for you to come and spend time here with us and give yourself a breakaway, spend some time in a Western country where you get a decent hamburger, for God's sake, But you want to do that, so, mate.
Much appreciated. I appreciate the offer, and I may take you up on that offer next year. I'll just say that, man. Cheers to that.
Yeah, you do that.
I'll take you up. Might take you up on that.
Cheers,
but
mate. Cheers,
let's end this up. We've been over 2 hours. This is pretty long for me. We're gonna end this in a couple minutes, guys. If there's anything anybody in the chat that's got anything to say, any questions to ask, let me know. But once again, I'm not really a live streamer. I don't consider myself.
Oh no, it's only been 2 hours and 16 minutes. You're not really a live streamer. Hey, for not really a live streamer, you've done bloody brilliant, mate. You've done bloody brilliant.
Well, thank you. I definitely need help from guests. I need help from people posting comments. I will try to do more live streams. I would like to
yes, do that.
Do these like once a week or twice a month kind of thing. I'd like to move away from like the trolling and the jealousy and like just the bullshit. So,
can I give you some hints? Who knows? Please,
sure.
Keep Hazel and your baby out of it, because they will tear you apart. The trolls will tear you apart. Keep your family out of it.
They're already messaging her sister and all that, and like first of all, like, so I haven't been on YouTube too much the past 6 months. Like, I actually have a TikTok channel. I'll let you trolls figure out the name of that TikTok channel. It's not Brevis. I'll just let you know that. But I do have a TikTok channel where I'm posting a lot more content. TikTok is the way things are moving these days, especially with the younger generation. It's so I'll just go with that. But yeah, I don't want the trolls going after Hazel. They're messaging her sister. They will. So it's honestly, it's tasteless. It's actually pretty petty. And the guys that do it, there's probably one or two in the chat watching right now. I feel sorry for you guys. Like, honestly, get a life. Like, truly get a life. I mean, like, it's not. It's
would be a good description. Yeah,
it's pathetic that guys are trolling my girlfriend's sister's Instagram or TikTok. Like, it's just like, guys, get a life. Like, there's better things to do in life. I'm not that important. I'm not that funny. I'm not that special. Why you're trolling me? If you're jealous of me, I get it. I understand. You maybe you should be jealous of me just because your life's so pathetic. But move on, guys. Like, I don't anybody. I'm I'm living my life. I'm not gonna change. I'm still gonna like have fun. I'm still gonna go to different islands, different resorts. Ain't nothing gonna change for me. But I hope everybody has a good night, good weekend.
Listen, you need to send me your email address, and I need to find out. You need to.
I emailed 3 or 4 times this week, Jeff.
I've got nothing.
You emailed me 3 days ago, man. Come on.
No,
yeah.
I didn't. No, I didn't. No,
okay, well.
No,
I'll email you again, and you'll.
You understand what I've been saying for a long time, that someone's got a back door into my computer. No, I have not received anything from you, and I can tell you right now, Sal, I have not emailed you at all. I would know that, mate. That's a con. That's a troll. That is no, that hasn't happened.
Okay, well, I know you do have a backdoor. Someone's got your password and all that. Try to fix that security flaw so we can be in contact with each other.
We've tried, and I've paid tech guys hundreds of dollars, and it's still not working. No, Sal, honestly, I have not received an email from you, and I can tell you right now, I have certainly not replied to an email from you. No, that hasn't happened. So that's what I'm saying. This is the shit that that I'm putting up with from these idiots on the internet. Don't click on them. If you don't click on them, because it's crap.
I got you. But hey, guys, we're going to end this tonight. I appreciate all the guests I've had on. GDME, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, mate. Thank you very much.
Leave a comment in the chat. I do have more beers to try, more craft brews from America, California, and the Philippines. And, you know, get any suggestions too. I know I'm a beginner live streamer. Any things I could do to make the live stream better, dancing girls behind me, whatever, you know, just give me a suggestion and we'll go with it. Mr. Meat, I'll let you have the last word before we shut it down.
Thank you very much. I mean, it's been great. I love the way you've done this thing with the beer thing. I think it's really entertaining and intelligent. And no, mate, it was a great live stream. Thank you for inviting me on. Thank you for putting up with me and my stupid sense of humor and my bullshit. No, I really appreciate it, Sal. And say hello to Hazel and give your lovely, darling daughter a big kiss from me.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. And we're going to end it on that. And God bless everybody. I hope everybody has a good night or day wherever they are in the world. And we'll maybe do this in another week or two. Thanks, guys. See you later.
Yeah, bye. Bye.